we are going to delve into one of the most essential parts of any kind of fighting art and saber combat in special, which is defense. The first goal of any martial sport or martial art is to keep yourself safe from being hit. So, when an attack is incoming, you have to respond in a certain way so you keep safe from the hit, and that's also important, you get the chance to hit the attacker back. In many cases, when someone parries or defends himself against an attack, it's only the attack that's been negated, but there is no opportunity created for a counter attack. In fact, these defenses are worthless. If we want to actually defend ourselves in a useful way, there are only three distinctive ways to do this. The first way is called voiding. It means to avoid an incoming attack totally by moving the body and therefore the intended target aside from the incoming attack. The second way is what most people know. It is parrying. Parrying means you deflect the blow by receiving it on your own weapon. And the third way of defense is called displacing. Displacing means an incoming attack is hit by an attack of your own along the trajectory, so it is displaced. It doesn't land where the attacker intended it to. The difference between a saber and a sword is, besides the blade, the handguard, the cross. With a bladed weapon, a parry or a displacement is done in a way so the incoming blade is sliding down the own blade towards the cross where it is stopped, and it can be worked with, it can be manipulated. On a saber like this, you don't have a real hand guard, so any sliding along the blade will result in a hit on your hand. Many people ask, how can I defend against hand hits? How can I keep my hands safe? The answer to this is simple. Parry in a correct and useful way, and that's what we're going into in this video. The correct way of defending yourself against incoming attacks. So, I'll have to introduce you to my lovely assistant here. That's Edie. You have already seen her in some other videos where she's usually trying to smack my head in with her saber, and she will do so now, so I can show you the most beneficial way to defend yourself against said smacking. So, the first way of defending is voiding. Voiding means you are simply not there when the hit would land. How is this done? Using your feet. So if she attacks my head, I take one step back. That's enough to keep me safe. if she attacks in a more diagonal angle, like a cut 1 or a cut 10, 11, whatever, the same step backwards will suffice. If she attacks in a horizontal way, aiming at my hands, I raise my hands into a high guard, so she misses. It's more difficult to avoid cuts from below because a simple step backwards usually doesn't keep you safe. But you can change the angle a bit. So if she attacks me with a cut 4, a cut 5, 8, whatever, I step backwards, raise my hands, so her blade passes before me. What voiding does, and that you can see already, is it creates a lot of opportunities for counterattacks. So, if she attacks me with a cut 12, I avoid and come forward with another cut 12. If she attacks me with a cut 10 or 11, avoid and come forward with a cut 10. If she attacks with a horizontal cut 9, I counter with a cut 10. If she cuts from below, avoid and counter with a horizontal cut 3. The other way to defend yourself, and the most commonly used way, is by parrying the attack. Parrying means receiving the incoming blow on your blade. But a parry is not simply a block, a way to just hold your blade in the way of the incoming attack. If she cuts me with a cut 12, no, and you see why? Because I just received her blow here. She pushes my blade downward and would hit me anyways. So, a successful parry means I totally stop the incoming attack on its way. And I can do this only if I push my weapon against the incoming attack and move my body so the incoming attack can't hit me anyway. So, we will now show you some parries along the clock face, beginning with a cut 12 and going clockwise for her. And I will show you the correct parries. So you see, I push my hands forward while I step offline. Again. And you see here why it's crucial to defend yourself against diagonal cuts from above with a hanging parry. Because in this way your hand can never get hit. Again. She's coming nowhere near my hand. She's dropping off towards the ground. So the horizontal cut, and I step forward, so I am behind my blade. She can't slip it off. The upwards cuts. I step, I parry. I step, I parry. I step to the other side, I parry. And here you see why it's so crucial to parry these horizontal cuts first with an upwards blade, because you can then push the point downwards so she can't slide towards your hands. Because if you receive her on an upward, and then she can slide down. But if you do it correctly, she is nowhere near your hands. So the other two of the diagonal. In no way are my hands endangered, because when I parry, I push out my hand, and with this push I keep her from sliding downwards. The third way of defending against your opponent is by displacing the incoming attack. A displacement means attacking into an incoming attack, so the trajectory of the incoming attack is altered in a way it doesn't hit me. So if she cuts with a cut 12 to my head, and I do a cut 1 into her attack, her trajectory is altered, so she doesn't hit me anymore, but her cut would instead go into the ground, and I open her up for a counter attack. So when what's also important is stepping. You can't displace an attack by just standing there and whacking your saber into the attack. If you do so, this will happen. You will still get hit. If I do it correctly and I attack with a step, as I should, the following thing will happen. You see, her attack is displaced and she's open for a counter attack. It is not possible to displace each and every cut along the clock face. It is really good against all attacks from above. It works rather nicely against the cuts 3 and 9, and it works in a certain way against cuts 4 and 7, but not against the rising cuts. If you want to displace, and I will show you this, if you want to displace cuts from below, you will do this in a low hanging guard, so you can push it outwards. So let's start with the cuts from above, which are rather easily displaced. So she will try to cut my head. Displace. You see, I always have to move in the direction she is cutting in, so I can displace her. So, the horizontal cuts, I displace her attack, I can counter immediately. The cuts from below, you can do this from the inside or to the inside or to the outside. To the inside, it's always harder to do because you can't miss a step. What's also easily displayed is a thrust. And then there is a way of displacing which I call inverted cuts. You see, all these swords have two edges. The one facing away from you when you hold it is called the true edge. The one facing you is called the false edge. As combat saber does not have any edges, I call those what would be called false edge cuts with the sword, inverted cuts with the saber. It means you are not cutting as usual with the side facing away from you, but you're cutting with the side facing towards you. So, as I said with horizontal cuts in the other video, I can also do this for displacing the incoming attacks. Especially, again, against everything that comes from above. You see, I cut an inverted cut. Inverted cut. Inverted. Inverted. And counter. The crucial factor in parrying and keeping your hand safe is not standing still. As you have seen, in every kind of defense, I am moving. I'm not standing still, I'm not standing locked in place and just whack away frantic attacks. I'm moving. And that's the most important factor, and that's probably why so many people have problems keeping their hands safe in saber combat, because they are standing still. You see, we didn't change measure here because we don't have much room here, but as you see in our sparring bits, we are constantly changing measure in fighting, and we are constantly moving. In fact, we are moving a lot more than we would with the steel swords, because saber combat is incredibly fast and requires a lot of movement to apply hits and not just whacking each other's blades. So, for now, practice your parries, practice moving with the parries, and may the force be with you.